here, and welcome back to the Let's Play, you lovely fans. It's me, an Ivy Man. Yeah, Mario reference if you didn't get it. So what do we have in store for you today? Well, we are actually going to be working on a monster spawner room, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. So, oftentimes you see these rooms get all kind of bunched up and boxed in and hidden from view. No, we're not going to do that today. We're going to actually make this aesthetically pleasing and functional, but in a cool way. That being said, my armor looks good, so what do you say we hop right into the episode here? Okay, so for those of you that may not know, monster spawners actually spawn in what's called dungeons or monster rooms hidden throughout the overworld, as well as in some cases like the Nether Fortress in the Nether. You can find blaze ones. This one here is a skelly spawner, which is actually one of two spawners that I found on my first episode here. And now the thing is, monster spawners actually can give you quite a bit of resources as well as experience, and they only require just a little bit of setup. So if I wanted to complete this farm right here, all I'd have to do is place water along the edges, take the torch off, and this farm would be complete. And I've done a little bit of pre-work before the episodes, but we're gonna just talk each other through it and explain what's going on. So what I did is I went ahead and created an infinite water source here. So when two source blocks are right next to each other, you can create a renewable resource, such as this bucket, right? If you only have two water next to each other, it doesn't work, and it constantly flows and it can disappear. Several different ways to do it, but this is how I prefer. And usually what you want to do for mob spawners is actually just take your water and run it all the way down the edge until they can flow off, right? And you can do it on this side as well. You see they all come toward the center, fall off, and that would be good. Now in our case, we want to actually do a little bit something different, more efficient. When you put water just one block over from the center, you can create an infinite water source along the side of the wall and keep on going, and none of the water wastes away, right? And we do that until it's all finished. And what this allows us to do is the skeletons that are going to spawn from this spawner when the lights are off are going to plop into the water and run down in the center. So really and truly, at its basic level, this is all that's needed for a monster spawner farm. For example, if I were to turn this off right now, the skellies would go into the center, and we can actually just kind of give an illustration just in case you'd never seen a monster spawner or was curious how it would work. Here we are. We're going to plug this up a little bit because it can get kind of dangerous. Get my sword ready here. Let me see. There's sword, buckets. Alright, so as soon as we turn this light off... Is it still too bright? Nope. We got a skeleton. He spawned. Ow. And he shot me. Where'd he go? Did he drop into the water? He did. Bye, little buddy. Oh, there you are. Hi. You see me? Come up here. You can do it, little buddy. Whoa, hello. Maybe he'll push him in. There we go. Oh. I'm clicking buttons. This is not good. This is dangerous. Oh, I'm gonna die. I gotta block this up, because this is bad. So anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much how a monster spawner works, right? And this is why we actually use light, because if we didn't use the light, oh boy, we would be overrun and be in some serious trouble. So, that's it. So anyway, what I was saying is before I got attacked by all those skeletons, so we're going to decorate it to make this pretty. But originally what I did is I created a little mob trap, so the skeletons will come down here, and they should hit the strip wire and get pushed like that right through the piston, right? And in most cases, this works pretty well. There we are. And to give you an idea of actually what is going on, so we're going to drain the water here. We have buttons on the side of the wall. Those buttons actually, let me get rid of my shield so we can see. Those buttons block the water from flowing out, so it's not going to run back over the string and get rid of it. And I'm using tripwire hooks on each one of these blocks. So as we come and we hit the tripwire hook, we can see that the piston extends. and then it detracts, right? And there's water inside of here to kind of keep it going. The redstone is actually really simple. Although I did learn something new in the process. I didn't know that repeaters could actually have water running over them, so that was kind of interesting. But when the tripwire hook hits over it, you see it attaches to redstone dust. It'll come down, and that's what activates the repeaters. I have them all set on max delay. I figured this was what is going to work, because if I shorten the delay a little bit, it actually doesn't quite flow right. It speeds it up, which is fantastic. And even dropping it like that, we'll see how quickly it is. It's fairly quick, but when the skeletons are coming over the water, it actually doesn't give them enough time to flow through that piston. So if I break this, you can see the piston expands and I get stuck here. So if I was a mob, I would just be like the skeletons, just getting stuck all the time. So we may have to work on the speed. But for me, I found, at least at the very minimum, setting it to a full delay for all 3 repeaters actually kind of helped get the speed up. So it is important to note also that the monster spawners in Bedrock Edition, which is what I'm playing right here, are actually different than the Java Edition ones in terms of how they spawn monsters. So in Java, well, I thought I heard something, I'm sorry. I was going to check my back, make sure no skelly boys are coming. So anyway, yeah. So in Java Edition, they work a little bit different. Let me explain the difference real quick. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on... Uh-oh, did I just fall? Well, the good thing about these doors here, I could just keep going like this. Up we go. So we have 4 on that side. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what this is this is a 9x9 room, and in Java Edition, which is the computer version of Minecraft, skeletons can appear on any one of these blocks within that 9x9 radius, as long as there's no light on it. But this is Bedrock, so it's a little bit different. So we have our 4x4, but it's what's called taxi cab distance. So this is just one kind of corner of the room. So in Bedrock, it kind of looks like a diamond shape instead of an actual square shape. So these blocks right here actually never spawn any skeletons, which is pretty cool. We can decorate with this and make this a pretty functional room. And we can make an aesthetically pleasing one, because we can just create a small little light source, like a soul torch, to light this area up. And it won't affect the rate of the skeleton spawner, which is really neat. What if we place some dirt down, just like so, right along the spawning area? Oh, I ran out of dirt. Well, the soul sand will work too. Or you know what? I got some gravel. Okay, so I picked up a bunch of gravel actually. Let's say, for example, that we have the outside edge as gravel. Like that. Okay, and we have dirt on the inside. So let's say we place some plants, right? So I picked up that cornflower at the episode 1, and I thought it was really pretty. It can't go on gravel, but it can go on dirt. Maybe a birch sapling would be cool. Oh yeah, like in that corner. And then for where the gravel is, we might be able to take either a mushroom. So let's say a mushroom would be kind of cool right there. Or we can do like some leaves and spread some like that. But just to put a little bit of life, I think would be pretty neat. We can raise it up if we want to. And let's say we put another gravel block here and we want our mushroom actually to be on top. There we go, and just fill that in with leaves. And I think that makes it actually kind of look a little bit pretty. Now bear in mind, let me go ahead and get rid of these blocks because I don't want them here. And we can actually see a little bit better. This cobblestone deep slate, that's where the mobs are going to be able to spawn. So this is going to be our edge, so we can reduce that by getting rid of these blocks and replacing them with something prettier. So I thought it would be kind of cool if we did bone blocks. Now I got to go out and up. So I have some bone blocks all kind of stored up here. I mean, I kind of like that. I think it looks cool. It needs just a little bit more, right? But we gotta do the other side, and we're gonna mirror it and just see how that looks. Okay, so that's a little bit different look. We added a tiny bit of mossy cobblestone. I think it would be pretty if we add one inside here. There we go, and we can always do like a half slab or something. But we're just gonna get our creative juices going and just kind of see how this would look, because we are winging it. I am not working in creative mode. This is just gonna be survival planning and going through the process, right? I think it looks nice. Let's go ahead and just kind of create a boundary. So what if we bring fence blocks up like pillars, and we can bring it around and make it look almost like a kind of like a stage, you know? I think that would be nice. Okay, so taking a look at this, we kind of have a good idea going. It's missing something in the center right behind it that would make it look pretty. And I think that we should change the walls out from the cobble deep slate to maybe something a little bit more brighter or flatter, one of the two. I do have a bunch of gravel. I bet you gravel would look good as the wall. So let's go ahead and shift that out and see what it looks like. Okay, so far I am liking that. I think that looks really good. If we mix in a little bit more of the if we mix in a little bit more of the cobblestone, the mossy one, into the wall with the gravel itself, I think that would look really nice as the backdrop. And it's almost given like a really cool garden-y type feel, you know? These slabs in the center, I just went ahead and combined them up like that. I think it looks nice. So let me go ahead and get this other side worked out and maybe mix in a little bit more of that mossy stuff, and we'll see what happens. Okay, and we are back. I really like the look of this, how this is turning out so far. And we got the backdrop done, we put the plants in, and it really looks cool, almost like a play or a diorama setup, you know? So I still gotta work on the roof, and we have the general diamond shape of where these skeletons are actually gonna spawn. So here's the deal now. The fence gates in the center, as long as they're open, they allow the mobs to come in and flip off the edge, and they stop the water from running across. So that's why we have those there. We may end up changing them depending on how this is going to work, but we have to figure out how we can get the water to flow correctly without the skelly boys actually bouncing around. So we may have to drop the bottom floor just a little bit, or we may have to add slabs or other things that keep them from popping up there, just to kind of fill things out. So let's test it out with some water and see what happens. Okay, so I did have to drop the floor a little bit and remove the cobblestone slabs. I still left the netherite, but you can see that I just decided to use a single stream all the way across like we showed in the initial, so that no matter where the skeletons fall, they're not going to be high enough to actually jump on the blocks, and they should roll right into the lower fences. I dropped them as well, and I think they look better down there. So at least we're partially through the way of what we need to be doing, right? So I like this because no matter where I drop, if I was a skeleton, I'd come here, I'd be like da 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 da, and I'd go down my little thing, I'd hit the trap, the piston would extend, pushing me up and out where I need to be. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and repeat the process for the right side. And then I'm going to work a little bit on the detail work of the roof, and I will bring you guys back. Oh man, just take a look at this view. Isn't it amazing what a little bit of detail work can do for a mob spawner, or any mob farm for that matter? Just kind of looking at it, you know, mob spawners and mob farms got a bad rap of being hidden and being ugly, but it doesn't have to be the case in your world. You can actually make something quite efficient and functional and make it still look beautiful. After all, let me smell my armpits. They smell good after all this hard work. And if you're feeling that, well, make sure that you beautify your own mob farms, because these are the places that you live in Minecraft. Think about all the time that you spend enchanting, collecting loot. You might as well make it look like this. But this is only half the battle. We still have to make it function correctly, and add a little bit of a loot table area to where we can collect our drops, as well as to gain some XP. So I think that's going to be enough for this episode, and we'll save the technical details for the next. All in all, a job well done for an episode, and I hope that you enjoyed it. You got to learn something that would benefit your world and make it more personal and unique to you. But yeah, don't be afraid to decorate and experiment. I just used the blocks that I had, and I came up with this beautiful design. So all in survival too. So just have fun and play with it and just enjoy it, okay? So until then, until the next episode, have a great night, have a great day, and I will see you there. Bye bye now.